All right, good afternoon, parents from ACP High School. Today we're going to be learning a bit on why cyber safety matters. So, I'm Harrison Pefkos. I'm the head of PE here at ACPE.
And I'm Caleb Frost. I'm one of the other PDHPE teachers here. Now, to get ourselves started, what we're going to do in our email that we sent to you to join the webinar, there was a link to a Kahoot page. Now, what we're using this for, this is a teaching tool that we use with your children, our students, and it's going to be used as a pre-test to test what you know and what you might not quite understand about cyber safety and what it actually is. So what I'm going to do is, could I get everyone to go ahead and click on that link, and it'll take you to the page, and I'll pull up our code for you to join our lesson shortly.
All right, so now that the Kahoot is over, we're just going to go over some definitions to deepen your understanding of what we'll be looking at today. So first off, we'll talk about cyberbullying, which is using technology such as social media, messaging apps, or online platforms to deliberately hurt, harass, or exclude someone. So an example of this is commenting a hurtful comment on someone's Instagram post. Now, sexting, the sending, receiving, or sharing of sexual images or videos, usually through digital surface devices.
And our last one is consent, which is giving clear and informed voluntary permission for something to happen. So without consent, just like in the real world, when you are face to face with someone, without consent, sharing or requesting images is unsafe and unlawful. So cyber safety very similarly links to our real world safety of consent. The definition doesn't change between the two. Now, what we're going to look at first is our activity one. Activity one, we're going to be answering some scenarios. So we're going to present you with some scenarios, which you will have received through our email. In the Google Classroom, there is a Google Doc that will have these scenarios on that you can answer these questions. So what we're going to do in scenario one.
So what we'll go into first is click on activity one in the Google Classroom, and that's where you're going to find the Word document for scenario 1, 2, and 3. So we'll read through the first scenario quickly, just for an example, and maybe BJ, you could answer the question for us. So scenario 1 is Emily posts a photo of herself at a weekend party on Instagram. Several classmates leave negative comments about her appearance, while others like the mean comments or add laughing emojis. So our question to you guys is this cyberbullying, and what advice could we give Emily and her parents to manage this situation? So Benjamin, when you're ready to answer, yep.
I think this is cyberbullying because they commented negative comments which are rude and harmful to her. And I think a way she could manage this is either blocking out the comments or blocking the users in general.
I think that's a great idea. So a great way of avoiding cyberbullying is to remove yourself from that situation. Something that we can do online that we can't really do in person is we can just block and cut off that form of bullying and that form of communication. So that is an excellent answer, Benjamin. So the next one, what we're going to do, if you guys could all write them down in your Google Doc, our answer here, yes, it is cyberbullying because it goes beyond just one person being unkind. She's targeted publicly on social media through negative comments, and other people reinforce that behavior by liking or adding those laughing emojis. So this can be harmful and affect her well-being. So this next one, could I have everyone answer in your Google Doc? Scenario 2, Liam discovers he's been removed from his sports team group chat, where players share updates and organize training. He messages the group asking to be re-added, but is ignored. Later, he finds out team members have created a new chat without him. Now, what aspects of this situation are considered cyberbullying? So what makes this a cyberbullying case? And what actions could Liam or his parents take to address this? So if everyone could write down their answers in their Google Doc, and we'll move on to the next one shortly.
All right, thank you everyone. So here is our answer for this situation. So this situation is a form of cyberbullying because Liam has been deliberately excluded from an online group. Now, the behavior goes beyond a simple oversight that the team members created a new chat without him, ignored his request to rejoin, and effectively isolated him socially and practically from the group. Now, this type of exclusion is often called social relationship cyberbullying. So we're going to go on to our final scenario now, which is about Sophie. Now, Sophie is pressured by someone she knows to send a private image. Later, the image is shared in a class group chat without her permission, and she feels embarrassed, scared that more people will see it. So if you guys could just answer this question in the Word doc, and we might ask one of you guys to share your responses in just a moment. All right, let's see. We'll go with Benjamin here. Could you please answer this question for us?
I think it's both cyberbullying and sexting because they've used a private image of Sophie without her consent, and it's over an online platform.
It is both, as you said. It links to our 3 keywords that we talked about earlier: sexting, cyberbullying, and consent, as Benjamin brought up. So sexting because she was pressured to send a private image, which she didn't really want to, as it came through with the pressure. It's cyberbullying because he was sharing the image without her consent in a group chat, which is a clear act of cyberbullying, as it's meant to embarrass, shame, and socially harm her. It involves a serious breach of trust and can have legal consequences, especially because Sophie is underage. So that brings us to the end of our activity 1. And that brings us to the end of activity 1. Now, for activity 2, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a mix and match. And Mr. Pefkost is going to run us through how this is actually going to work.
So first of all, on that Google Classroom, just click onto activity 2 in classwork, and you'll see it's going to take you to a Google form. Now, on the Google form, you'll see all these different questions that are on our screen right here as well. You're going to click whether this is a high risk or a low risk situation. So we're going to go for an example, and I'm going to ask Mr. Frost here for the answer. So let's go with the first question: sharing personal details publicly. So sharing your address on Instagram, your phone number, or posting a photo of you in your school uniform. Now, Mr. Frost, would you consider this safe or unsafe, or a high risk or a low risk situation?
I'd consider this unsafe and a higher risk activity because that personal information can be accessed by anyone if you put it out there publicly, and that just exposes yourself to too many different variables, too many dangers. So I would click unsafe or high risk for that first one.
All right, parents. So can you please just go through all of these? Click submit when you get to the bottom of the Google form, and then we will go through a few of the answers here just to make sure you guys have got the idea of what's going on.
All right, now we're going to go through a couple of different answers, and we're going to talk about whether you guys think they're unsafe or a safe decision to do online. So Benjamin, can I get you? I'm going to pick a couple of random ones, and I'd love for you to answer them for us. So do you think reporting or blocking someone who is behaving inappropriately online, do you think that is a safe or unsafe decision?
I'm gonna go with that's a safe decision.
And
That's the right thing to do. If someone's sending you inappropriate things or commenting bad things, the best thing you can do is block someone.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Another one for you. Using an unsecured public Wi-Fi for banking or personal accounts. Do you think that is safe or unsafe, and why?
I think that's unsafe because there's potential for people to hack into your bank details and personal passwords and stuff, and that leads on to very bad things. So I think that's unsafe.
Absolutely. If it's unsecured public Wi-Fi, then you don't know who can access it and who can access what details you are putting out there. And last one, let's go clicking on suspicious links or downloading unknown, untested files. What do you reckon? Safe or unsafe?
I'm gonna go with unsafe again. Because that's, again, you can lead to bad things. You don't know what kind of viruses or things are on the other side of those links. So I think that's unsafe.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. That is unsafe because you don't know what you could be downloading. There are plenty of viruses out there that can be harmful to your computer, but also access those private information that we were talking about earlier. You downloading them is you giving consent for those viruses and those things to take control or take some of your personal information. So that is an unsafe, a high risk activity. Now we're going to move ourselves on and over to our final activity, activity 3. And that brings us to the end of activity 2. Now, we're going to get started with activity 3, which is looking at conversation starters for you to your children or to young people. And Mr. Pefkost is going to run us through how this is going to work.
So if you just go back onto the Google Classroom and click into activity 3, you'll see there is another Google Doc for you to follow. Now, in the Google Doc, there's a variety of questions that we could use for our children. and we just want to go through them all. So this gives you some different starters you can talk to with your children that doesn't seem too confronting for them to follow. So an example of this will be, how do you know the person you are playing with on your online game is safe or not? Now, if I was to ask this to, say, my son in this situation, Mr. Frost here, what could you respond with maybe?
So if I was a young person, I would say, well, I don't know them in person. I don't know them for certain, but to be safe, I don't let them know any of my personal information, and I just talk to them only on the game to keep myself safe.
Now, just when they respond to that, we just want to reiterate to them how dangerous it can be if we were to share that information, or if they were to start asking questions about it, maybe the best response would be to simply just block them. Now, we're going to get you guys to complete this worksheet, and then after we'll go through some of the example answers, and we'll get one of you guys to voice your opinion on it, and we can see if you understand this or if we need to go into it further.
Now that brings us to the end of our section 3 of our activities. Now, we're going to take this time to open up the floor for you guys to ask questions that you may still have, or talk to us about things or scenarios that you may have faced or know someone who has faced. And if you would like some clarification or some help around those different situations. So if there are any questions, yes, Benjamin, how can we help?
I just have a quick question on how I should respond if my son was to tell me that one of his close friends has sent him inappropriate images before.
Now, the best course of action from a cyber safety point of view is to report it, block, and remove that person online. Now, as a parent, if it is someone that is your son's friend and you have contact with the parent, you can have an open discussion with that parent.
And from all the staff, on behalf of myself and Mr. Frost, we'd like to thank you one more time